Good evening.
Good
How are
evening,
you?
you.
How are you? I'm sorry for
I'm
the gardener.
well, it is like your afternoon where there's like with me, as you can see, it's pitch black outside.
I know. Yes, it is. It's being problematical, but no, the gardener is being a gardener. Um,
Well, it's live, so we expect these things.
yes, we expect a lot of things sometimes, and sometimes that.
There's our little visitor.
Yes, she's back in my lap. We'll see how long she gets to stay.
Bless her. She's like part of the Monday night team.
She is to a point that like she can stay on my lap as long as she behaves. The minute she starts clawing and gnawing, off she goes. But she is the subject for tonight's show.
Well, she is. That's so true.
Stop trying to read the tarot. It isn't good for you.
Bless her heart.
Have your little one started playing with the cards yet?
I don't allow it because
Oh,
my cards are really, really fragile because they're that old.
yeah.
I
I don't
have
allow
got
her to
one.
do it, but she will go and start nizzling at them, and it's like, no, get away from my cards.
What is the one the dog had? The dog have had one of them, and oh my god.
You about lost it, or he about bought the puppy farm?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Where is it? That one. The poor thing is just about like bent. It got teeth marks in it.
Uh huh.
I
It
had to
looks like
put
a
her
real
under the
tarot card
mattress.
reader. Yeah.
Well, yeah. And that one he had. Look at the little teeth marks in that one.
Uh huh. I would have had a fit.
I did. I screamed
Yeah.
and shouted at him.
Yeah. But no, our animals will learn to pick up things. They pick up emotions. They pick up energies. I don't know what her current deal is. We'll find out eventually about being my kitty because she's not my kitty. She's actually my husband's kitty. Um, I don't have any kitties anymore, but what we're talking about tonight is animal communication. This is a specialty. Some psychics can pick up on it, some people can talk to them. You have people that talk to the horses. Um, they're designed to be animal communicators. What's your thoughts on it? And then we'll talk about the normal everyday communication.
I see animals as a big part of my journey
Mm-hmm.
because we've always had animals in the house. Now, our white Labrador that we got now, he will come and sit behind my chair or
Uh-huh.
by the side of me. He knows straight away if I get a stroppy client.
Mm-hmm.
And the kitten will always come, wrap himself around my legs, and then fall asleep under my chair.
Ah. That's better than what he was doing. Because one of our first shows, Hazel looks uncomfortable as can be. It's actually the kitten trying to climb up her leg.
That was the first day I think he'd come home.
Yes.
But that's the joys of being live.
Well, it's the joys of being alive. It's also the joys of being a pet owner,
It is.
and the animals pick up more than what we give them credit for,
Yes.
because they're still pure energy. Even if they're rotten as hell, they're still pure energy. Um,
And
and go dear.
they're very comforting. If we've had a rough client
Mm-hmm.
that we have taken on a lot of the negative energy, they are so comforting and so energy releasing
Mm-hmm.
to make us feel better as well.
Right. They are. They do try to, calm you and aid you. Um, and they've become very therapeutic. Scientists are finding them very therapeutic in their approach. Like that's why they're being taken to um, nursing homes, and senior cares are now starting to have animals because they found that they help the patients.
Yeah. They've started over here because we've got what we call special schools
Mm-hmm.
where the children with learning disabilities go.
Mm-hmm.
Every classroom now has an animal in that classroom,
Interesting.
and we call them universities over here. I think you might call them something else over there.
High schools.
Yeah. They also have pets as well in the classroom.
Interesting. Do you think that's where the litter box story came from?
God knows. I hope not.
Like the tabloid stories, there's got to be a grain of truth somewhere.
Yeah.
Uh, and I'm sorry, the Sun lately has been really low on their news.
Yes.
The gossip has gotten dry open. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe they need, maybe King Edward's needs to go and pump the royals up for some more drama. But it's been very dry. So there was some story
Yes.
about a classroom having litter boxes in it for the students, and I'm like, only if they're cats.
Yeah.
And
I've
if you've
been
ever tried to
watching.
teach a cat, it doesn't help.
I've On TikTok. I follow somebody that's from. I think they're from America, and they
Uh
are
huh.
transitioning, and
Uh
that's
huh.
really, really important. I think to know for us
Right.
to understand, especially me, because it's not a big thing over here.
Right. It's
And
not
I have
seen as a
learned
big thing over there. And I really think that it's not a big thing because y'all guys don't talk about it.
yeah, yeah. And I found that story interesting because they were saying in their high schools, you
Hmm.
must identify as a person. You can't
Right.
identify as anything else.
Right.
But
Which is a
over
little
here, well,
aggravating. I wouldn't mind identifying as, I don't know, a centaur or a bat or, something interesting. But I really feel like over here, things get blown out of proportion every time. Every time.
yeah,
Okay. They act like that this is the first time this stuff has happened. This, oh, we've never, and it's like, yeah, you have. It just wasn't a thing.
yeah, yeah,
And a lot of people don't like that viewpoint of like, no, this has been occurring for, I don't know, since the mid 30s. It just wasn't a thing.
yeah. Like over here at the moment with animals, we've got a big thing going on about XL bullies, XL
Okay.
bulldogs.
Uh huh.
There's been a few people attacked recently, but not just by that breed, by different breeds.
Uh huh.
But
Well,
now our Prime Minister have said that he is stopping the breeding of them. He
okay.
wants every one of them to have a muzzle on in public, and the list goes on and on. But
Do you
my
know what the
argument
most
is,
dangerous dog is?
go
The
on,
one that bites the most often.
is it a Malamute?
Nope.
Go on then, tell me.
It's the toy poodle.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Those things are vicious.
The thing is, I'm a great believer in it's not the animal, it's the way the animal is brought up.
Exactly. My
As you
mother-in-law.
know,
Do you know what the Rottweilers are? Do y'all have that
I've,
breed?
we have them, but we have Rottweilers. Their tail is docked. They don't have tails over here.
Right. Right. They don't have
Is
tails.
it?
They're brown and black.
Yeah,
They're
they're
used as guard
massive
dogs.
dogs.
Massive
Yeah.
dogs. Big,
Yeah.
beautiful dogs. They were bred to protect the moors.
Yeah. But they're gentle.
They're very gentle. Anyway, she had two of them. She had two kids and two Rottweilers. Perfectly fine until you started going towards the kids. Because
Yeah.
they were known as nanny dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. We had Rhodesian Ridgeback.
Mm-hmm.
Now they are on the dangerous dog list over here. He was the most gentlest, protective dog we ever had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
We
will
would
be.
trust him. We would trust him with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
No issues at all.
Yeah.
But
Didn't give you in a bit of
again,
trouble.
no, never ever.
It has to do with ownership. It has to do with
Yes,
responsible ownership. The other problem is responsible breeding.
yes, yes. Over there, do you have to have your animals chipped?
We're getting there.
Yeah. Now over here, it's illegal to own a cat or dog that's not chipped.
Right. Which I think is all right and good.
Yes, yes,
We
because the way,
unfortunately don't have the adultism in our government that we need when it comes to
right,
animals because they're still seen as property instead of beings. But we chip our cars, we chip our children. Why we don't chip our animals is beyond me. Why we
yeah,
don't neuter our animals that are not planned for breeding is beyond me.
yeah,
Um,
I agree
for
with
their own
you.
health.
Because we had Garfield neutered for the simple reason we know there's issues with lots of stray cats.
Yeah.
It's the responsible thing to do as a pet owner.
Yes. But they very rarely get the word responsible in there.
True,
You know.
true.
Unfortunately, there doesn't require in this country a knowledge base of your animal, how to properly care
Right.
for them, how to properly raise them, you know, and the homeowners aren't held, you know, to a standard here. Or even, the pet owners aren't held to a standard here, unfortunately.
We have
Um,
something called the RSPCA as well.
mhm,
So if you think a pet is being mistreated, you can contact them and they'll come out and do checks.
mhm.
They
We
like the
have
police service.
right, but for animals.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. We have a version of that. It's the watered down version. They run the rescue basically. Here,
Right.
but it's still they don't have the same power they should. They have to go through the police to get, like animals surrendered and whatnot, and it's a process. Um, but I think over time we're going to see a lot more owners taking responsibility for their animals. Now, all three of my two dogs are all three of my dogs are rescues. This one was born
Yes.
here. Her mama was a rescue, but you know, it's one of those things. It's like, and this happens mainly with purebreds. Now, you're about ready to get put down if you're going to keep crawling. Um, it's like they don't do responsible breeding anymore. Like they'll breed first and second cousin animals together, and it's like, no, that's not how you do that. We're not looking to
No.
develop
No.
breeds anymore.
No.
Now I
When
know a
we
major.
bought, no,
Go
go
for it.
on.
I know a major thing over there was, the animal fighting. Like animals are
Yes.
being bred to fight, and that was a
That
big thing.
is That's still a big thing, but more within the gang culture.
Uh-huh.
Like Fred, he is a pure pedigree. But
Mm-hmm.
before we bought him, we seen his mother, his father, and the grandparents
Uh-huh.
because we
Now,
needed to know.
right. That it was an actual
And well,
pedigree.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I'm sure all that occurs differently over there because y'all guys have more responsibility.
yes. Like
Yeah.
I have them both insured.
Mm-hmm.
They go to the vets every 6 months for a
Uh-huh.
checkup
Yeah.
because our vets over here are really good. We pay for the two of them, I think it's £30 a month,
Right.
and that's all their flea and wormer because I'm really strict on that.
Right.
That's all their booster injections and
Right.
any other medication they need. But over here, that needs to be done for their insurance policy to be valid.
Right. And that's
So,
important health care.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
I don't even think we have that here yet.
right. So, whereas you're more advanced in other things and we are
Mm-hmm.
behind, it's like the role reversal when it comes to pets.
Well, I'm sorry, you guys are more advanced in almost everything at this point.
Yeah, true,
Even your
true.
internet's better.
Yeah, because we have just gone to full fiber.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've just gone to full fiber. It's called.
Wow. Like we're
Uh,
just now getting fiber.
right. So I think ours is called super fiber. I think,
Yeah.
but because I work from home, I've always had a business line anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because as you know, they go slightly faster.
Yes. It's 20 times faster than our standard fiber, with fiber all the way in your home, no copper cabling, for fiber rolling out across the UK with thousands of homes connected every day.
Yeah.
Now, isn't your internet owned by the kingdom?
It's owned by British Telecom,
Uh-huh.
and British Telecom are owned, I believe, by some sort of royalty.
Ah. Because I know the Queen was heavily invested into satellite service.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, like I think she was part of what SpaceX, like she invested in SpaceX, which I thought was
Yeah.
fascinating. That the Queen
I'm
or you know had made a
I'm
decision that no, I think I'll invest in that.
I'm really lucky because I'm just around the corner from the hospital.
Uh-huh.
We get everything before everyone else because obviously that area needs to be dealt with first.
Uh-huh.
So, like things like when they've been rerouting pipes and changing the pipes,
Mm-hmm.
we are always one of the first to have them done.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same as when most of the houses get power cuts. We very
Right.
rarely get them because we're on an emergency grid.
Hmm. Yeah, you get 1 gig or above in service. So you're at the same speed I am. So I'm going to be nosy. How many pounds is that a month?
I get 5 gigs.
5 gigs a month. 5 gig speed.
Yeah. unlimited internet. I pay £62 a month. But we also have to pay for a phone line within that. Even though I haven't got a landline plugged in, we still have to pay for that as well.
Yeah, you're still cheaper than me.
Yeah.
You've got 5 times the service, and I've got fast service for the States, and you're half of what I'm paying for 5 times the amount. That is insane.
And that is the cost of a business line as well.
Right. So it's a little bit more expensive.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. How fast do you think we can get the Royals to actually file for foreclosure and repossession papers?
I'll pop in tomorrow, have a cup of coffee and a chat.
Okay, let's get that going, shall we? Because you're right up from the Sussex, and we know that the king is there this week.
Oh. Crazy.
No, it's not. I think it would be fucking amazing. See, here's the mortgage you signed, and y'all guys didn't pay it off, so we're coming to repossess. We're just going to take all of the former colonies. Thank you very much. Can you imagine the insanity?
It'll be crazy up here now from November onwards, because the king will come in November to Sandringham. And he will start all the preparations for Christmas. Do you know, this will be interesting for you, the king actually leaves Sandringham on Christmas Day and goes to a local church with residents for a Christmas Day service.
Do you think he'll walk or drive?
They always walk.
I know that in past they always walked.
Yeah.
Do you think modern they will walk or drive?
Walk. Yeah.
Oh, and how's the courtesan being? What is her name? Her official title now? Because I know Royal Side Chick is now, not an official title.
Isn't it Queen Courtium or something?
Queen Consort?
Queen Camilla, but she's the Queen Consort, yeah.
Yeah. How is she being received now? Have they calmed down about her, or are they still pissed?
They're still pissed.
Understandably.
She don't fit into the royal family appearance. How can I put it? Yeah, because when I'm trying to think now, it wasn't Harry. When William was up here and he was flying the air ambulance, when he was flying over, he'd make a point of coming down low, waving to all the kids, making everybody know that, he's no different to us.
Right.
But she just haven't got time for nothing.
Right. Well, she even got rid of the ladies in waiting, which I think is a disservice to the community and a breaking of tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are roles that have been eliminated that I don't think should have been eliminated in the royal structure.
I agree with you totally.
Ladies in waiting is one of them because, if they're doing so much, they need those ladies in waiting or personal secretaries to aid in that. But it also helps, the vicars, the lady in waiting, could also be the emissary for the royal family and dealing with the local, like making sure things go off
Yeah.
easier.
Because
In
where
my opinion.
Sandringham is, Sandringham
Hmm.
have also got houses within the
Hmm.
Sandringham grounds that you can rent.
Right.
And the ladies in waiting used to rent those houses so that they could be on site.
Right.
So not only have they lost their jobs, but they're
Hmm.
going to lose their home because they're not going to be able to afford to pay for it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane, because some of those ladies in waiting was like 92 years old.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like, that's the stuff they're not talking about. They're not.
Like the Queen always made, because we used to see the Queen regular driving
Hmm.
around the area in our
Yeah.
4x4. You'd always see her with
Uh-huh.
dark sunglasses on and a headscarf.
Right. And on her way. Because I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
hear she was a little bit of a speed demon.
she was.
Right.
She was. But then at the same time, she always made time for everybody.
Yeah. She was a people's queen. I don't
Definitely.
think the new queen is going to be so much a people's queen. I think she's going to
I
be more
think,
like Queen Mary that you see on parade, and that's it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I wish the crown had been passed down to William and Kate.
See, I'm of a different mind. I think it should have gone to Anne,
The thing
then
is,
to Will.
Anne have got a lot of baggage, though, haven't she?
She's got a lot of duties. Like,
Yes.
she's the hardest working royal there is, and she can still hold court, which
Yeah.
is which is different um, than most. But you know, if she had been born, I think it's like 5 years later, she would have been queen.
Yeah.
She should have been queen. I think she's earned it a lot more than Charles has,
Yeah.
and she doesn't have a lot of baggage. Now her kids, they're a little different.
I don't
They
know, she
weren't
have,
raised royal, huh?
because Anne have got a lot of baggage because she was having an affair with Camilla's ex-husband.
Uh huh. When they were still
So,
married, like they were all
yes,
sleeping together. Okay, let's just get over
yes,
this thing that the royals are pure and white. Honey, if
they're
they're
far
wearing
from that.
ivory, they're lucky. Um, but and I think she married him, didn't she?
I think she did in the end, and then they divorced.
Right. So, you know, that's baggage, but that is nowhere near baggage as and she was really meant to be the throwaway. Like she wasn't
Yeah,
the heir or the spare. Edward was the spare. So, she could have, and that's why her children do not have titles or did not have titles. I don't know if Charles gave them or not. But
no, they
she's
haven't.
been a very big um force in the United Kingdom and also around the world when it comes to
Yeah,
charitable work. She sits on like 93 charitable boards.
yeah.
Poor thing probably lives on chicken salad so much she can't stand it.
Well, she rides her horses a lot because,
Uh
like,
huh.
as you're fully aware, we've got a lot of wooded area.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll ride her horses a lot, and she will always stop the horses to speak to the kids and let the
Right.
kids touch her horses.
Right. Which 400 years ago, oh my God, if that would ever occur.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
It's crazy.
I know. But how are you adjusting to the new government?
To be honest,
Always.
I think I think the kids in play school could do a better job.
Wow. Because I know Parliament's been a shit show this season.
Yes.
I've watched it.
We've
See, here's the problem. I would love for our government to function as Parliament does. It would be hilarious watching the live debate go on immediately.
yeah. We've got big things going on in Parliament at the moment of who been having an affair with who. And it's like,
They all have. They all had a
of course they
party.
have.
They all got drunk. It happens.
Well, there's talk now of another lockdown coming for November.
Really. Well, I know the numbers are coming back up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, the original prediction was that we would have another surge in 23, 24, and then it disappears in 25.
Yeah.
So we can hope.
Yeah, I'm being guarded. I'm having my flu jab this week, actually.
Uh-huh. I've already
Because
got my
obviously,
first jab.
see, I've had all my COVID jabs,
Uh-huh.
but every year I have to have a flu jab.
Mm-hmm.
That just protects me because of my B12.
Right. Well, I've got to get I've gotten, because I'm waiting for us to get the latest COVID jab. We haven't gotten it yet. It'll take it 30 fucking years to get here.
So
because it has to go through all the review.
It's over here. They've started giving it to all the care home.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've said they are the most vulnerable.
Right.
And they need it first.
Mm-hmm.
So they've started having it, which is a good thing.
Yeah. Dark Hunter says they're talking about another lockdown in bigger cities. Here, her cop friend is not happy about this.
This is going to sound really, really harsh.
No,
by the sound of it, Dark is going to agree with me. It's something we've got to learn to live with.
Yeah.
It's not going to disappear off the face of the earth.
And I think it does. I think after 2025, we'll get through it. Like, it'll evaporate itself. But I don't think that it's going to sound terrible also. I don't think the lockdown's the answer because it doesn't work here.
No, it don't here.
Okay.
It really
I think
don't.
It's better to push vaccination. And just do it like they've done the flu. The only way we're going to get around it is vaccinate and stay on top of the vaccinations. Like, don't be taking 6 months to be getting me a vaccine.
I won't be having the newest vaccine for COVID.
Okay.
Because the last ones made me really poorly to the point of where I kept having severe chest infections.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they think that there's something in the vaccine that counteracts with my B12 medication.
Ooh.
So I've said I'm not having any more.
Well, I think then you have to take precautions.
Yeah.
Which, I have to take precautions. Like, if it gets to the point, I think the number is 3.5. I'll have to check with Super Doc again. It's 3.5. I can't leave the house.
Let me just ask you and everybody in the room, who's actually had COVID?
I haven't, luckily.
I haven't.
Okay. However, like 3 of the psychics that I work with have gotten it. One is just recovering. But with my RA and my other medical conditions, Brenda hasn't yet. Dark Huntress has. Oof, 3 times.
See, my son had it.
Uh-huh.
Now, I was looking after him, and I never caught it.
Luckily.
It's the same as when my oldest son had it.
Mm-hmm.
He had it really bad, but his partner didn't have it.
Right. And I think it has to do with how it's handled.
Yes. Yeah.
But I think we need to get into a different culture or a different mindset of culture.
Yes.
Of when you're sick, you keep your little ass home. You go into the sick room where you belong, and you stay
Yeah.
there till you're better.
Now over here, I don't know what the laws with everybody else are, but over
Hmm.
here, if you get COVID now, you don't have to stay in.
See, that's where I think we're dangerous at.
Yes.
Okay. We have proven over and over isolation is the best. If you get the
Yeah.
flu, you go to your bedroom and you stay there.
I know
Yeah.
personally, if I had COVID, I would not go outside the door for the
Right.
simple reason I'd be putting other people at risk.
Exactly. You know, Here I think they
Dark,
just don't care anymore.
I never ever uh, remember your name, but did you find when the kids had it, they were really, really poorly?
Oh,
Oh,
Brenda.
that's really, really unfortunate.
Hmm.
Have you been in the same area, Brenda? See, that's the other thing. A lot of people say COVID is like a bad cold. When my
I
two
think
had
it
it,
depends on the strain.
yeah, when my two had it, my oldest one was left really poorly afterwards.
Hmm. And
It's
I think it
really
depends on whether
hard.
you get the long term or you get the short term.
Yeah,
So I think long term will kill. Like I
yeah,
think the original COVID was deadly. Now it's
yes.
morphing and it's changing and it's been morphing and it's been changing and you know you still come home, you take a shower, you still manage yourself correctly. But you know what else was down when we were going through the what I will call the COVID situations? Cold and flu. Amazingly, there was very few cold and flu in the United States.
Yeah.
Hello, did we not learn that, oh, we don't want to get cold and flu, then we do the same thing as when we do COVID. We wash our hands,
Yeah.
we don't touch our face, we don't deal with weird and strange people.
It's like when we go food shopping now. If we hear anybody coughing, we miss that aisle, wait until they're gone, and then come back.
True, true.
Oh, Brendan, I hope for your sake that you were far enough away.
Yeah,
But now you're
I'm
going to be
hoping.
worrying.
Yeah,
Now you'll be worrying as if you're going to get it or not.
yeah,
Bloody hell. 3 weeks.
yeah.
That's a long time, isn't it?
Right.
And that's the other thing. I think with kids, you
Hmm.
can't stop children hugging. It's a natural thing for the littler children. They see their
Yeah.
friends. That's the
Hmm.
way they communicate.
Right. It's like you can't stop dogs from walking up to get patted.
No,
It's
no.
how they communicate. They're looking for acceptance. And are you part of the pack or are you not part of the pack?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. You
yeah.
know. And
It's
it's
just a
like
crazy world.
it's not crazy. I mean, we've seen crazy. We've had crazy here in the United States. It's a different world. It's a different questioning of, putting yourself first. And
Yes.
I think that's really hard to do. I was listening to one of the one of the company CEOs of a failing company talking about workers not wanting to work anymore and demanding more wages, needing to put the fear put the power back in the employer's hands. And it's like, dude, you're going to be out of business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Workers can choose to work for you, or they can choose not to work for you.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to play by the rules, then they'll find somewhere else.
But I think the thing is, for companies now, they know for every one person that works for them, there's always 10 behind them that need a job.
Sometimes not. I mean,
I don't know.
Look at our business.
True.
They always make comments about, well, we got so many applicants. Yeah, but how many of them are going to stay?
Yeah.
How many of them are going to sit there for the 17 hours, sometimes 18 hours that people do? How many of them are going to jump through the hoops you put them through?
How many bloody idiots are going to come online and do a live at like 10 o'clock at night?
Right. And I think this is something that companies have got to learn.
Yes.
Is the value of dealing with it.
Yeah.
Okay. The value of investing in employees and finding faithful ones that will stay, that will go through mergers and changes and adaptations and that type of thing. And you're going to have heavily invest to keep that workforce.
Yeah.
Who was it? Was it Germany that tried this? That tried the, we'll force you to work, and it's like, no, you won't.
Yeah, I think it
was.
was
something different. We will do something different. We're seeing a shortage in nurses because they can't get a guaranteed schedule.
Yeah. But I've got to say, if I didn't work, I think I would go crazy.
Oh, honey, I would go off the wall. Like, I don't know what to do on a day off, especially with winter coming. During the summer, it's quite easy. I go swimming, I go hiking, we take off. But during the winter, it's going to be like, okay, what am I supposed to do here?
Yeah.
So I agree. I have to work. Otherwise, I will lose and go to insanity.
I know Shannon works. Shannon, do you feel the same about things? If you didn't work, you'd go absolutely crazy. Brenda, I don't know if you work or not, but do you think that you would feel the same? I know it's a random question. I do throw them into the conversation.
Yeah, we want them to join in. But no, like, it can be as it is, and I have to work.
Yeah. So Shannon have got other things she'd like to do.
Yeah. She writes all
sense. Right. So the job you're doing is basically just a stopgap for when you can focus on writing.
Yep. And
that makes sense, Brenda. So that goes back to you're going crazy by not doing anything because you need to find something to do.
Right. Which we see that in animals.
Yes. It's really interesting how we do our own things.
And, we create and we're completely together.
Yeah. So, Shannon, have you made that your goal for, say, 2 years' time or before?
Right.
Because did anybody ever do the 5-year plan?
I've seen that. Have you had success with that?
I do it. I'm not going to say I meet my goals because I don't. Because, as you know, things change.
Right.
I'm where I wanted to be with my savings and myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just, even though we say it's 5-year goals, I feel
Mm-hmm.
it's more of an ongoing thing.
I agree. I think
Shannon,
that
I
it's
love your way you're thinking.
yep.
Because I
Yeah.
think it's good for us to have that forward thinking for ourselves as well.
I think it is too. I think it's important to also set goals.
Yes.
And for those goals to be instrumental, and for us to know where we're at. That's even the more important part there.
Yeah.
Like, where are we headed to? Because once you know
I
where you're
like,
headed to, then you can project it back.
we're all going to live in Shannon's car with our laptop and our hotspot. We are sorted.
Yeah, I'd rather take build a tiny house somewhere up on a mountain with a hot spot.
No, and you're right, Shannon. And it's good that you're thinking that way. Like, oh, so he's a bit of a bully then, is he? I keep saying to my son, find a girlfriend with a flat and move out.
Right. See, it'd be better if he found his own flat.
Well,
That's way
yeah.
he's less likely to move back in. And you can get your
He
sewing
did.
room.
He did then, didn't he, Shannon? You noticed that as well, did you? He didn't answer the question. He just put his head down. We
Uh-huh.
noticed.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's
Ladies,
more strongly
like,
encouraging.
I call him worse than that. You should see our messages on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm awful.
But it's all good fun.
Yep. Oh, I see romance novels, dark history novels. There's a lot that can be done there with Miss Shannon's writing. And Brenda, I think, could get very creative in so many areas.
And I think sometimes it's good to have somebody that will kick us up the bums and push us in the directions that
Mm-hmm.
perhaps we're afraid to take that leap of faith ourselves.
Right.
And knowing that somebody else has faith in us gives us the faith to take that step forward.
True. And, sometimes that step forward is an important step forward.
Yes. Yes. And I'm a great believer in you can't change the past, but you can dictate your future.
Oh, I'm a very big believer in that, and you can't rewrite the past.
No.
But you can create it. You can create the future. You can create what you want. You can manifest it. You can sit there and do the planning and do the laying things out and the organization of them.
Yeah.
That's heavily important.
I always, there we are. This is my calendar. Nobody else in
Mhm.
the house can understand it. But
Oh,
that's
that's
how it
easy.
looks for the month.
Oh, Emily,
That's,
Emily, Emily, I am sorry. You are not part of the Ingenio family of products. So, no, we don't send friends requests. And no, you can't get messages and that type of thing. We've gotten our first spammer.
yay!
I will have to let our manager know we have gotten our first spammer.
That means
Um,
we're official now.
well, that does. He does. But guys, you can reach us on Keen, you can reach us on Zodiac, and you can reach us on Fortunica, you can reach us on Modern Spiritualist. That is where you get real psychic readings for. Anyone messaging
Yes.
in our comments, it's not real psychic readings. It's bullshit. They are scammers.
Yes.
We delete them.
Yes. We work
Yes.
with them regular.
Yes.
Ah. So, Brenda, what part of the world are you from?
They're both in West Virginia, honey. Like, these are my local
I'm the,
gals.
well, I'm the odd one out then.
No, you're coming
I'm going to go
over.
to bed and pout.
No, you're coming over eventually.
Ah. But yeah, I suppose there's a bigger picture to everybody's life.
There is. There's a larger
When
creativity to everybody's life.
yeah, when people say to me, "When you look at life, what do you see?" I always
Hmm.
see the outline of a jigsaw puzzle,
Right.
and we have to put the pieces together inside.
Well, that we have to decide how big those pieces are.
Oh, don't
Because
confuse the situation.
it very much is because think about it. What what me and you find important, which would be big pieces, like
Yes,
relationships at time. Other people would
yeah,
not find those important. They would find more so important, like their
yeah.
career and their job. So those are bigger pieces.
Now, to me, I didn't focus on my career until the boys were at least 15.
Right, because you had time for that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
you know, and you had the boys to raise
You're
and take.
wrong. You're wrong. Brenda's doing work in progress.
Uh huh.
See, so well done, Brenda. You got us out of a pickle there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Brenda's working on her puzzle all the time.
Yeah. And redesigning it, and setting goals and setting directions. And I think we'll talk about different ways of setting goals next week. How's that sound?
I think that's a good one. I really, really do. I'm going to write that down.
Yes. Because there's different ways.
Do you know, this is going to sound really peculiar. When it comes to setting goals, I always say to my clients, baby steps. Because if you were to set yourself a massive goal,
Mm-hmm.
whenever you looked at that goal, you're going to feel defeated.
Right.
But if you do baby steps until that big goal, your confidence is going to be flying.
Well, yeah, but also, there's see, I like the three goal thing instead of just the one. You're
Yeah,
good, better, best. I think they should be measurable. I think they should be interesting for you. Because if you ain't interested in it, it ain't going to help you.
yeah,
And it needs to be like you take that huge goal of, example, I've got a goal of being at 208 pounds, which I'll get the stone value for that. $14 stones.
right.
Um, I'm not there yet, but breaking that down into smaller pieces
Yeah, yeah.
and then putting action steps behind it. We'll talk about all that next week because it can be fun. I like to do it in game board style.
I was actually going to say we should draw diagrams for next week.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 14 stones,
We should,
12 pounds.
ladies, do you think we should draw diagrams for next week on how we would get to a big goal?
Do y'all want to see my Trello board?
Oh, don't go too far, will you? You'll have an A4 piece of paper off me.
Because we can actually do digital graphics here.
Well, you would. Me, I'm still working with pen and paper.
Well, that's fine. You can take and, send the pen and paper and we can turn it into a digital graphic so they can see it.
But I think it's good that we can then show the different ways of doing it.
Right. Very much so. So that's what we'll do next week, guys.
That's it. Can we block Shannon, please?
No, she's bringing up something.
That is brilliant.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to fine. Brenda done it. I'll show you how to lay goals out into a Trello board.
God.
You'll love it.
Brenda, you better join us next week now.
Yes,
if you don't, I'm going to hunt you down. If you don't, I'm going to hunt you down and kick your head in.
You'll love it too. Because you can do this on paper, but I like doing it digitally. But then I also have my physical copy, which is in front of me. Yeah, she helped a local event, and it was a very big pull off.
Oh, well done.
Yeah,
you think you can come and work with management with us?
We'll see about that. So when are you working this week?
I'm back to normal now. My days, which is, I started work this morning at 6:30.
Yuck.
Yeah, yuck. I worked until 10. And then I was off until 12.
Right.
I came back on, then I went off at 3:15 until 6. Cool. But I'm back to my normal hours tomorrow, which is from about 8 o'clock in the morning until about midday. Then I have from midday till about 2 o'clock off, because I need that time for myself.
Yes.
And then I'm back on at 2 o'clock until midnight, well, roughly.
Right. I'm still fine-tuning my schedule because I'm trying to spread through the networks, because all of them get busy at different hours. So we're still playing with that. But no, we will go over goal setting and action plans next week.
The thing is, it's also good that you were getting the balance right.
Yes.
Because our work is not like a 9 till 5 job.
No, it isn't. It isn't. I won't be taking Wednesday off this week. I will take Wednesday evening off this week.
Yeah.
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 All right, for me,
go
that
for it.
Space I have off in the afternoon is like my quiet time. That's when I know I don't have clients. Because of the different time zones.
Right. And that gets complicated. Yes. All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed this. We will see you next Monday at 5 p.m. on Modern Spiritualists Live, and you can reach us on any of the Ingenio products.
And you've got to come, ladies, because you need to see our drawings.
Yes. Good night, y'all.